the link dump for October that I had set up. I want to know if you guys saw this. You know, I want to know if you guys saw this video as well. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike. I don't care. Just acknowledge the fact that you have seen this video, because I need to know what YouTube's doing. Alright, so the first video up in the link dump, Drunk Lonely Gamers play Nintendo M8 Demo Unit Episode 5. Click this annotation right here. That'll take you to it if you want to see it. We play a little bit more of the Nintendo demo, the M8 Demo Unit. So yeah, there was that video. Then there was the Retro Bros gift that I finally not got around to filming, but actually filmed, put it on my computer, and then misplaced it. I put it in a folder I generally don't put those type of videos in, you know, like a pickup or a show-off type of video. So it was lost to the ether for about 3 months. So sorry about that, guys, but the video did come out finally. Drunk Lonely Gamers play the Nintendo M8 Demo Unit. Episode 6 came out as well, so click that link right here. Any of the links are going to be right here. So, you know, where talks Return to Nukem High. Click the Return to Nukem High whenever there's an annotation. Okay, can you dig me? Can you feel me? Then there was the Dragons of Tarkir draft. That was a random crazy thing that happened. My LGS, he needed to open up a box of Dragons of Tarkir for stock. So he invited a couple of us to draft for it. So sign me up, free draft. Didn't get to keep any of the cards, but it's always fun to draft. And he just didn't want to open up a box of cards. That link's going to be, once again, where that is. All these videos were released on a Tuesday or a Thursday in the morning. Early morning. Might be changing that as well. Then we had Flubs the Third. That came out November 2nd. That was a bunch of just outtakes. Basically, that's it. Just a bunch of me clearing out the hard drive, which I've been doing, because now I have about 300 gig free on my hard drive that I've had to make, and I need to make at least 100 gig more free. So, one of my favorite episodes that I've done, TGO unaired stuff, Dave and Buster's. This was more our personality, so to speak, how we almost really are in real life. I don't fake in front of the camera, but I tone myself down in front of the camera. Certain websites that I was submitting stuff to, that I still do, don't want, you know, R-rated material, and I'm fine with that. I feel it's almost more creative when there's limitations, you know, where I have to play within a box, and I have to do amazing things within the box, and I can't leave outside the box type of thing. But I respect any wishes of any website that doesn't want any R-rated material stuff. I will freely admit, outside of YouTube, outside of work, I am a NC-17 rated human being. And the last thing, the podcast I recently did with Kid Shoryuken, Yell Chaos, RPG Machine, and Karkamo. Click that link right there, too. It's been a long-ass time since I've done a podcast. It was hella tight to Kid Shoryuken. He's been trying for a long time to get me on a podcast, and we finally got to do it. It was fucking metal as hell. I'm no longer part of the Freedom Network. I haven't been for a bit. It was amicable. I mean, you know, I was a very, very, very small cog in their machine. So it was just, you know, terms of service. I give them 30 days notice, and no harm, no foul. Felt that I had plateaued on my subscriber count because of certain things. And I'll just give you a pro tip. You know, if you sign up with any network, you know, they kind of control how you monetize your videos. All monetization settings were enabled, even long non-skippable ads. So I think that's what was happening. Long ads were being played, or non-skippable ads. Before I went on Freedom, I was only doing ads on the bottom screen, like that little thing, and maybe occasionally, every now and again, a skippable ad in front. And it's just dawned on me that Freedom had turned on everything. But don't worry, I'm not knocking Freedom. They were an amazing company to be a part of, and they do have the tools necessary for you to up your game, to step your game up. And I feel, you know, I have stepped my game up very significantly in certain aspects because of the knowledge I learned at Freedom. You have to be willing to learn it, though, too. So they have message boards. You got to be active in there. But yeah, you gotta want it, and you gotta want to learn, you know? So, it was great. It was great. Did I get rich? No. And let's be honest here, not many of us do. I think I made enough money on the Freedom in the year and a half I was with them, that I was able to buy Minecraft on sale on the Xbox One. And then I kind of released a Halloween special. I had something planned out, but due to what I'm about to talk about next is the reason why that didn't happen. Some Nightmare on Elm Street action in, and was able to film some things for it. I got to the planning stages of an episode. The concept was I'm going to play Nightmare on Elm Street and get my ass kicked in it so much that I get killed by Freddy and have to go into the land of Splatterhouse to get my old school gaming, horror old school gaming back on, you know, so I can fight Freddy and defeat him. There was a whole concept involved. It required a little bit more. It required some money to procure a Freddy costume, which I did not have, which is going to be the next topic I talk about as well. Don't worry, I'm getting there. Hold your horses. Calm your titties. So there was a whole elaborate thing that I had planned, and I got to the part where I was recording gameplay for Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Splatterhouse games. I was going to use Splatterhouse on the PlayStation 3. That was actually going to be the review, so to speak. Splatterhouse 3 was going to teach me how to be an old school gamer, because if you don't know, that game has the 3 Splatterhouse games on it from 16-bit era. So there we go. But what happened now? I have a medical condition involving my hip. The following picture that I'm about to show you is going to be very fucking graphic, very raw, very ow, very if you are squeamish at all. You have a 5-second warning to click away. Hey, click my hand, the annotation will skip the ugh. You've been warned. That picture is my hip. I was born and given a staph infection, and the infection spread to my hip, and the hip went septic. They did a emergency surgery on me. It was a Hail Mary pass. They had said I wasn't even going to live, but it was all they can do. And they had to take the rotting parts out. So that's not just a scar from getting cut or anything. That's a scar because I'm legitimately missing muscle and tissue and anything that was in that spot, in that scar, and it goes pretty deep, almost to the bone. Hurts is missing. So over the years, I've been given a lot of prognoses on it, a lot of weird things about it. You know, I was told I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 30. Well, I'm 37. I'm still walking around almost. So then there was a plan 7 years ago to clean it out, clean the scar out with surgery that the doctor didn't feel comfortable with. He left the decision in my hand. I decided not to do it. So I'm working at Lowe's recently. I started working there in January, probably one of the best jobs I ever had. Moved to the lumber yard, and obviously I wasn't used to that physicality. I can still do the job. By this point, I dropped 40 pounds, and you know, was starting to get really good at working out and weightlifting and getting healthy. And all of a sudden, it just felt like the scar was just splitting apart and ripping open, and it was occasionally bleeding, which is frightening to say the least, because it's never done that before. And finally go to a doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, it's exactly what you've been doing. So he recommends me to a plastic surgeon. Now, why plastic surgeon? Well, that's what they do with scars. This guy I went to dealt in nothing but scars, and he was the third doctor in the last decade that I've shown this problem to, that I've kind of scared and made unprepared for what they were about to see. It's truly something to behold, especially in person. Basically told me he didn't want to do the surgery because it's so close to a nerves that I might paralyze my leg. He's like, you're in pain, you can walk now. I do this surgery, you might not be walking. Basically, I can't do anything physical at all. I can't stand up for longer than 5 minutes. Can't walk around. So there goes working, so to speak. I had to resign my job because there's no job I can think of, unless it's a desk job that I have no training for, that requires me to be sitting down all day. And the problem is, even sitting down hurts. Laying down hurts. Everything hurts. There's not a second in the day now that I am not in pain. But I've been dealing with this all my life. So I've been dealing with some sort of pain for 37 years. So I'm used to it. But this stuff, this is really hard to deal with. And that's what happened with the Halloween episode, as well. That tied in the Halloween episode, the physicality of it. Standing up doesn't work anymore. I know the Dave and Buster's episode, Good Will Hunter inquired about disability. That's going to be a long road. It's going to be like a year. And that episode, the Dave and Buster's episode, was filmed 2 years ago. When I hit record, I didn't know where this video was going, to be honest with you. I knew I was going to do a link dump and I was going to talk about this problem, and I'm yammering away for almost 20 minutes already, and most of you have probably clicked off of it. But if you've watched to this part of the video, give me a fuck yeah in the comments down below. My Christmas came early. My wife bought me this. It technically is my Christmas gift. It's the Halo 5 Guardians Limited Edition. I did not want the $250 edition. It did not justify the price for me. But man, it's a tin book, steel book. I love steel books. It's an unboxing video too. Fuck it. It would have the game in there, but it's already in my Xbox One. It's got some dossier stuff telling you what to do. Guardian kit that you put together, which I was a little pissed off about. Files on all the Spartan Blue Team and Spartan Locks team. Download codes for the Warzone rec and whatnot. Storyline, no spoilers-ish. Review. Marketing really set it up as a Master Chief versus Earth versus Spartan Lock versus Master Chief. No, doesn't happen. Or not to the extent that they were leading it up to. The single player campaign left a little... It's like the middle part of a trilogy. Think Halo 2. How the storyline in Halo 2 was a little upsetting because it ended abruptly because there's still the third game. Remember, Halo 4 was the start of a new trilogy. This is the middle part of the trilogy. So yeah, in this video I'm doing everything. I'm doing a fucking review as well. I'm going to do what I call Lucky Moron playthrough in Fallout New Vegas. Making my intelligence and charisma a 1 and doing Wild Wild Wasteland perk. I just finished today also doing the last Nintendo M8 demo unit playthrough. What I want to start doing is getting a schedule of videos now. I think Mondays and Thursdays are going to be the call. Tuesdays didn't really do much for me. If I can get a month or so worth of episodes out scheduled, then I can actually take time to percolate on certain issues. The game store, yeah, I know what happened to the game store videos I was going to do. Really quick explanation. I got too big for my britches. Episodes written, I have plot lines and stuff like that going on. There was a lot of production when involved. I spent some money on it, these shelves were part of that money that I kind of spent. These were supposed to go downstairs into my game room, and I gave that to my wife for her sewing room. I was holding out on that game room because it was going to be the new set, so to speak. But what happened was I would need a lot of people, and I do not have access to a lot of people on a consistent basis. But I would need a big crew. I would need camera people. I would need, sound guys. I would need actors, and that's the harder part, actors. I don't have a ready pool like I did with the TGO crew, and that's why the game store didn't happen. It's plotted out. It's scripted out. There's a lot of stuff going on that in the future can definitely happen. This is Dommercoolstuff, and as always, do good gaming. And please let me know if you've been seeing the videos that I've mentioned, that I've put on the links and whatnot, because I need to know if YouTube is if it's getting to you guys. That's why I vote for Optimus Prime and John McClane under the APKA Mother Trucker campaign. Because if they got elected, Optimus Prime will solve our problems. John McClane will make sure those problems get solved. He's fought terrorists before.